Hi, I'm Sheilaa Hite, world-class astrologer, tarot master, medium, spellcaster, all-around magical being. I am all of these things because I have discovered who I am and I am living my life freely from that place. And I invite you to do the same. As a matter of fact, I not only invite you, I encourage you to do the same. And today we're going to talk about what's going on astrologically that's going to help you do exactly that. One of the things we know is Mercury, the planet of communication, is still retrograde and it's taking no prisoners. Sure, you all have stories to tell. And Mercury is also square in an abrasive aspect with the planet Neptune. Neptune being creativity and deception, Neptune being the ability to see with faith and the fog. So Neptune square Mercury literally means I have no idea what I'm seeing and where I'm walking. It's truly a time of faith. So with Mercury, the planet of communication, how we get our point across to the other, how we deal with the other and listen to what they have to say, is telling us in two ways. But with Mercury, Neptune representing, among other things, the soul, is have a conversation with your soul. Have a long conversation with your soul and know who you are in this process of being. So a lot's going on. I've spoken about those two aspects before. And right now, the big reason for my being here today is a major, major aspect is happening. And that is the planet Saturn, the planet of authority, and the planet Uranus, the planet of, well, it's the planet of liberation, it's the planet of the rebel, but it's also the planet of the humanitarian. So Saturn, which is concerned with the social order, and Uranus, which is concerned with being free to be in a relationship, a positive relationship with fellow human beings, are making an interesting aspect. It too is a square, a 90-degree angle. And they are abrasive and abrasive on purpose, because without that friction that's generated in a square, we don't have movement. We don't have the ability or the power to move. And Saturn off each other and then can work together. So let's dive in. Saturn conforms. Saturn likes the status quo. Saturn likes structure, and we need all of that. Saturn likes order. Saturn likes foundation. Uranus does not like any of that, even though we on planet Earth need all of that. We also need Uranus, though. We need that part of us that says, enough of the old order. When the old order becomes outmoded, we have to be willing to cast it aside. Very rarely are we willing to do anything new without prompts. Well, Uranus is here to prompt us. It is time to take into consideration where we are on planet Earth. Where we are is we are literally choking the life out of our planet. And in doing so, we are not doing ourselves any favors. I'm sure, too, the solar system isn't that thrilled with us either. What we have to do is, Uranus is saying, what we have to do is, Uranus represents new ideas, not only the rebel spirit, but new ideas, the humanitarian approach, and divine insight. So Uranus is saying that the Earth as it stands, represented by Saturn, is in a fine place for a necessary change, a very necessary change. The change that we see outward, the change that we see or feel inwardly, These are the same changes. When a planet is making an aspect to another out there, it's also making an aspect in here. So what we're being told is during this time, and even though it seems, oh, today is the day, remember there's always a buildup and there's always a release. And this has been going on since last year. How do we do that? First, we must know our own truth. And then we must accept our own truth. And then what we don't like about our own truth, we must work to change or to heal. A Saturn-Uranus combination is really a Chiron opportunity. And Chiron is not a planet, but it is an asteroid. And it represents our soul wound. Your individual soul wound is shown by Chiron. And Chiron is what holds Saturn and Uranus together. So the structure that we build with Saturn and the necessity to release that structure with Uranus is held together by Chiron. And Chiron says the structure's been created, the structure needs to be released so that you can realize who you are, who you've become. In a lot of ways, Saturn is for who you are and to heal the wound of the soul. When you heal your soul wound, you also heal a wound in the earth, a wound here in our world. So the Saturn-Uranus dance that they're doing is a bit intense, to say the least, and it will call for us to take our hands off what we're sure we need to be holding on to. It will call for us to look at, to see, to realize, and to accept that it's time for different. The different has got to be a different way of moving through the world, and therefore allowing our world to move through the universe more, I'd say, more healthily and more wholly. So the conformation, the ability to be is fabulous. That's Saturn. The ability to realize that we need to release and transform and morph is more Uranian, with a touch of Neptune thrown in. So what we have to do is realize, what am I holding on to? What have I been unwilling to let go of? What have I been unwilling to see? What have I been willing to settle for in order to not do the thing I fear the most, which is change, which is let go of what I already know, or more correctly, to let go of what I think I already know. So once that happens, we are told that a lot is going on in the world, but a lot is going on in this universe too, the inner universe. So what we tell ourselves and what we're told by the status quo is we must hold on. Take a look at the world and everything you've seen in the world in the last year and a half to 2 years. That is Saturn. Need to work together. We have a world we need to get busy honoring and saving. We have people whom we need to get busy honoring and saving and strengthening. We have our souls and we have our life paths, which we need to acknowledge. It's not about I. It is about we. It is about us. It is about the collective. In the collective, you find the I. And by doing that, then the world becomes whole and we become whole. Chiron, as I said before, is the link and will help us to find our path and our direction. Chiron, Saturn, and Uranus are pulling us towards a destination. And I say pulling because we have not enough volunteers yet. But as we, as individuals, spin out of our own old orbit, we will realize that we've connected with a new, stronger, more positive orbit that really reflects who we are and how we've grown. So, what kind of work should you be doing, or would you benefit from doing at this time? What are you doing to make sure that the world what really is going on here? Or are you working with, okay, I don't like the fact that this is happening. However, it is happening. So what can I do to assist the idea whose time has come? And that's where we are now. We're at a place where the idea whose time has come is yelling at us, pulling at us to join in. When Uranus and Saturn come together, we have to take a look and we have to be honest with ourselves. Whose lives do we value and whose lives do we not value? How are we facing the challenge of learning a new way to live in harmony with each other and ourselves? Because there can be no inner harmony if there is no outer harmony. Saturn and Uranus are telling us that that's what we have to do. And you can certainly say, I do know people who, once you tell them to go right, they will say, nobody's telling me what to do, I'm going left. This is a game you can't win. This is a game your ego and your willfulness cannot and will not win. This is a game that the soul needs. So when you feel that our systems of supremacy are okay, they work for me, they really don't. Look at this, our idea as a collective that we don't have to take care of the planet Earth. Our idea as a collective that we can leave space junk. Yes, there is space junk, and it is actually harming it is harming space stations, and it will harm whatever astronauts we have out there because it's roaming around free. We have littered the planet Earth. We are littering the space. And so the universe is telling us that these ways of thinking, these ideas can no longer support us and we can't support them. We do have to know that when Saturn and Uranus come together, as I said before, it's an idea whose time has come, and that this is the time to deal with what's no longer working and to fix it now. As a people, we have made some great strides, and we're called on to make greater ones. The Saturn square Uranus with Chiron in the middle tells us that the time is now. So until next time, bye. And remember, actively do your part. Don't just think about it or think it's a good idea. Make that phone call, show up and volunteer. Be that person. We need you. Bye.